Hey, everybody. I'm just waiting for some people to come on. It's been a while. It's been over a year since I posted on here. Um, and it's been too long. So we're going to catch up. We're going to talk. We're going to chat. We're going to do the things that need to be done. I'm just going to wait a couple of more minutes for a couple of more people to come in. How's everybody doing? I hope y'all are doing good. Come on, post in the chat. Let me see those comments. What y'all been up to? It's been so long. It's been too long. What's been going on? So my friend, she told me about, and I guess I'll wait for more people to come in, but she told me about this guy that was talking about his preferences and how he doesn't date his preference because he felt like he gonna get him all his money. And a lot of women were in an uproar about that. And it's interesting. I think for me, when it comes to preferences, like when we talking dating, oh wait, I forgot to even introduce myself. I'm bugging. Welcome to the Faceless Podcast. Hey, thank you so much, Malka. I'm glad to be back. Welcome to the Faceless Podcast with Liz B. I am your host. This is a place where you can speak freely and be unashamed about your story and embrace your truth, okay? So today we're going to chat it up. We're going to talk because it's been too long. We catching up like old friends. But yeah, it's crazy because the guy was saying his preference. And a lot of women were upset with him for stating that he doesn't date his preference. You'd be surprised. There are a lot of guys that don't date their preference. And I think it's unfortunate that people don't know that, or that women specifically, because to me, I feel like a lot of times in society, guys have a lot of options and they can pretty much choose what they want and who they want. But I think there's some ways to know if you're not his preference. Like, I think it can be very obvious in how he deals with you, talk to you, date you, or not date you, right? If he's inconsistent, he's not texting you, he's not talking to you, he's not doing the things, that's pretty obvious. Because usually, like he said when he had his preference, which were lighter skinned women with curly hair, that he would give them a whole check. He would give them his whole check, and he wouldn't like he would just give them everything they want. And I think a lot of women were upset because they might have been attracted to him, and they don't fall in line with the preference. Um, and just mad that he stayed in that. But it's something to really think about when you're dating, because a lot of times women are told to settle, right? Oh, you want somebody 6'5", you want them this, you want them to be really handsome, you want that, you want that. Especially if you're a woman of color, they're gonna say, oh no, it's not about that. You shouldn't be so picky, right? You should just settle, or you should just um settle. Basically, I'm trying to find a better word, but that's the best word to use. And that's not what we're doing. We're not doing that in 2025. We're not settling. We're not doing it. So even if we have to talk about it today, so you don't settle, that's what we're going to do. Because we're not doing that in 2025, especially if you are a woman of substance and you want to have someone in your life that is kind and gentle, respectful, has integrity, is honest, is faithful. Um, like, yeah, you can't settle. Those are character traits that's needed in a relationship, in a husband, and a father. So we don't got time for that. We can't be settling in these streets. Okay? So take that as some advice before we get into the scoop of the topic today. So today we're talking about navigating love on dating apps, right? So I used to be super against dating apps. Always, since I was young, I was like, absolutely not. Now we're in a time where everyone is doing it. And with the pandemic, it's picked up. Now you barely find people that never done it or don't want to do it. And I think there's a way to do it in wisdom. There's a way to do it with discernment. There's a way to do it and navigate it, especially as a woman of color, or a Black woman, right? There's things that you need to really be sober about. There's things that you need to pay attention to when you're going into these, I guess, virtual relationships, or however you want to put it. So we're definitely going to dive deep into this and talk about some different topics. So let's start from the beginning. We're going to talk about signs to look for when dating online. So for me, I am Inspector Gadget. So you can search people's pictures, criminal history, a lot of information you can find on them. You could pay $40, $30 and look them up. You can search their profile pictures, any picture that they posted, to see their other social medias. There's ways that you can do your due diligence, because and you do need to make sure that you're paying attention to the people you're talking to. I would say let the talking stage go for a little while. Right, you're not meeting this person your normal place in a restaurant or at a game or a concert. You're meeting them virtually, and anyone could pretend to be someone virtually. So you do have to make sure you ask those hard questions, that you see if the person is consistent. What is he talking about? What kind of person is he? Where does he work? Is what his answers consistent? Right? Is he honest? So if you asked him on Wednesday where he worked, he said he worked construction, but then on Friday he told you he worked at IT. Now, come on. Something, the math is not mathing. So that's something that you have to think about. And I think sometimes people rush into giving their phone number. Do not give your phone number out, y'all. We're in 2025. Do not do that. Get you a Google Voice number. Give them that Google Voice number, please. Like, be for real. Do not give them your personal number. You know why? Because it's connected to your Facebook, it's connected to your Instagram, it's connected to your Snap, it's connected to your Zoom. Maybe it's connected to all of your social media. So now if you want to block him and he gets disrespectful, now he has an eye on you, right? If you have your kids online, if you have where you work, where you live, what kind of uniform you got, your backgrounds. People are weird. And you have to pay attention to what you're posting, and you have to protect yourself, especially as a woman in this country. You have to protect yourself, y'all. Carry you a mace, carry you some taser, get you a gun, get registered, register your gun, learn how to shoot, take some self-defense classes if you need to as well. These are all things you can do, and it's not to be scary or anything, but it's to be vigilant, right? Be vigilant, because you are essentially meeting a stranger. So you want to use wisdom. You can also go for people, like if there's someone who might have a referral. I've heard people do this. Now, this is outside of dating online, but if they know someone, you could ask friends that you know, or people that you have connections with. Hey, do you have a friend? Is there someone that could be potentially interested in me? Stepping outside of the box. So those are some signs I would say to look for. And when you do give them that Google Voice number, talk for a while. Meet in a public place, right? Don't be trying to be secluded with this person. Bring you a friend with you, right? Bring you someone you trust that sit in a restaurant with you, and make sure you're safe. Just use wisdom and be careful. That's some of the signs that I would look for. Like I said, that consistency in those conversations. Is he checking in? Is he consistent? Does he remember key things about you? Is he talking about the future? What is his future plan? What are his future goals? Where is he in life? Is he figuring it out? Does he have a plan? Right? These are all things that you should process and think about, because it is very important to know this about the person that you're going to potentially meet. Ask those hard questions. What's your religious beliefs? Do you agree with 50-50? What are your thoughts on kids, and how does the household chores look like? What does it look like to be living? If I was your wife or your girlfriend, what does a day-to-day look like? Right? You are interviewing this person to be a part of your life, so you need to ask the hard questions. Don't be like, oh, was just going to push him off, am I asking too many questions? If he tells you, why are you asking all this question, get out of there. Run. Why are you asking me all these questions? Run for your life. Why are you questioning me? Run. Okay? It's giving abuse. It's giving abuse. It's giving he will hit you or potentially slap you. So these are things that you want to get out. and you want to see him angry, see what kind of person he is, see how he treats the waiters and the staff and women that he's not interested in physically. Like some women be like, oh, he said he like dark skinned women and I'm dark skinned. Yes. And it's like, okay, well, how does he treat light skinned women? Do he disrespect them because he don't like them, because he has no interest in them? Is that the kind of man you would want raising your daughter? What if your daughter came out light skinned? Or what if it was the opposite? He loved light skinned girls, but he see a dark skinned girl, he dogging her to the ground. Come on, y'all. Don't take that as, oh yeah, he like me, he like me, because sometimes the preference don't even get treated right. Sometimes the preference does not get treated right either. So you want something that's deeper than the physical, not just him liking how you look, but what's the depth? Does he go to therapy? Is he okay with therapy? Would he be open to therapy? Is there any mentors in his life? Anybody that holds him accountable when he's going left and going right? Does he have friends? What does his friends do? What kind of men are they? This will tell you a lot about the person you're dating. And the more you ask him, hush. Do not tell these people your business. Do not be like, oh, I work at da-da-da. You're not auditioning. Remember, you are the prize. So you are dating from a place of being the prize. And he should be dating like he is trying to see if you are in agreement with what God's plan for his life. Are you the helpmeet that can help him get to the next place in his life? That's the key, right? That's something you have to pay attention to. Is he the one that you can see? Do you want a son like him? Would you want a man like him dating your child, your daughter? These are things that will tell you. If your answer is hell no, then you don't need to be dating him, right? So that's another part of it. Now, how to protect your spirit and have peace during the process. I would say, no matter how long you've been waiting, do not settle. I know I've said that like 5 times, but it's important. You have to get some hobbies, get some good friendships, get into your career, get into your gifts, every gift God has given you. Whether that's drawing, painting, creating, like lose yourself in the Lord. And then if you do that, I'm not gonna say He gonna come, because obviously this is not 2 + 2 = 4 situation. It's God's timing, but you will be able to enjoy being alone. So when you start dating, anything that disrupts the peace that you have, you will cut him off, no problem, because you're not going to feel indebted to him. You're not going to feel like you have to keep him and jump through fiery hoops and perform tricks just for him to stay. You will understand that a man will only stay if he wants to stay. You cannot force him to stay. There's nothing you could wear, do in the bed, outside the bed, that's going to make him stay if he don't want to. He has to choose to be faithful, choose to be a good person, have integrity. That's the only way. Okay. So protecting your peace and spirit to me looks like having friends, having a life outside of him, not making him your everything. Oh, I gotta speak to him 18 times a day. No, let that call go to voicemail. Okay, have that unavailable type of thing. Like, don't be so available just because you like him and he look good. Nah, you don't want to do that. Like, you want to make sure you are not available all the time. That means, oh, hey, I'm out the country. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm busy at work. Oh, I got I had a guy tell me one time, oh, you too busy for me. You got too much going on. And you might not have enough going on for me. Come on. Let's like my niece would say, clock that T. You might not have enough going on because you have too much time. And if you have so much time, what are you doing on a day-to-day? That means there's some part of your life that you're not tapping into. And if you're not tapping into that, then how are you going to lead our family? Okay? How you going to do that? And this ties into red flags. We are not collecting red flags, right? So at the first sign of a red flag, you got to go. You got to get out of there, especially if we're talking things that can harm you, right? Anyone mentioning, oh, I want to, anger, violence. They can't they can't self-regulate their emotions. They're not well emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, right? They're jealous. jealous of your success, jealous of your kindness, jealous of how guys look at you. These are things you want to get away from. You don't want to be with someone who's jealous of you, because what they'll do is they'll eat away at your confidence until you're not the person you used to be. And then you see that like a thing on TikTok where they be like, before I met him and then after, or while I was with him and after, and they show the before and after, and it looks like two totally different people, because these people can come and be spiritual vampires that suck the life out of you, right? And make you question yourself, question who you are, question who God has made you to be. So, what do red flags look like? Inconsistent communication. He don't text when he say he gonna text. Y'all making dates and plans, and he keep canceling. Mm-mm, no good. He don't know how to have conversations if he feel offended, if he feels hurt, if he feels, frustrated with you for some reason. He doesn't know how to communicate that. That's not what you want. Someone who is, I think, too rigid in gender roles. And what I mean by that is that you cook, you clean, and I go to work, but you also pay the bills, because that's kind of what they think gender roles are these days. But you want someone who be willing to pick up the slack when you're not at 100%, because at the end of the day, women are the ones that have the babies, men don't. So at that point, you need to make sure that you have some type of conversation and seeing who, if you're sick, does he take the initiative to come see you and check on you? If you say, oh, I got this bill due, does he actually want to help? If you say you have car trouble, is he like, how much does it cost? Like, how is he showing up in your life when you need him most? Is he showing up in your life when you need him most? If the answer is no, then you know what I'm gonna say, you got to go. If the answer is no, you got to go. In that order. So don't collect red flags and say, oh, well, I'm just being too rigid. I'm just being too strict. I'm just being too this. No. Something in your spirit is telling you to leave. Something is telling you that something's not right. Don't try to force this person to make him see you. That means he's not for you. You know, want to know how I know that? Because if Adam saw Eve and was like, baby, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone, that's bae. You telling me he saw you and didn't realize who you were? That means you're not his. If you got to keep performing, see, I'm kind, I respect you, I love you so much, I love you, I love you. You're begging. Stop. Why are you begging the wrong person to love you when the right person's waiting on you? Why are you begging the wrong person when the right person is waiting on you? Don't do that. Okay, y'all, come on. Now, how to date with purpose and pray. You got to pray regardless. We're not just dating about prayer, praying about dating. We're also praying about everything. But in this case, you do want to include God in your dating. Include him in the vision you have for who God may have for you. Don't feel like you have to leave, like God is on the side, but you're going to date and do what you want. Include him in that. So he can understand, hey, you know, he can tell you those specific things that's needed. He may say, go to the gym. He may say, oh, take this job in this city, in this state. So let him create your love story, whatever that looks like, but make sure the foundation of your relationship is him and not yourself. Not what you think, not what you feel, and oh, he cute, he fine, he tall, he this, he that. Nah, right? You got to make sure that you pay attention and that you include him in it, right? And what does that look like? Get in your word. Stay in, having accountability partners that hold you accountable so you don't settle. And being honest with those accountability partners about, hey, I'm going on a date today. I have another date tomorrow. This is his name. This is what we talked about. Pray with me. Hold me accountable so I don't settle. Or like, he is so fine. I don't want to get blinded. So I need to be able to talk to you about this. Or even get a therapy or get a coach, a dating coach. Invest. Get you someone that you can be accountable to, and that will hold you accountable. Okay? It's important, right? And we know, as women of color, I'm going to speak as a woman of color because I am a woman of color. There is stereotypes that impact our dating experiences. And that's just the truth. There is, for some reason, in people's head, an assumption that you should settle, an assumption that you should just take whatever somebody gives you, assumption that you can't date with purpose, or you can't date someone who is financially stable, right? Or you can't date outside of your race if you want to, or you can't date who you want to date. There are a lot of assumptions that come with women of color and being a woman of color and dating and existing in these places. So you have to use wisdom to make sure you know who you are and your identity before these dates, your identity before you create that profile. And you're not letting the likes or the dislikes or the acceptance or rejection break you who you are and break your whole identity. No. These sites help you connect you to people, especially if you work remote or you travel a lot or something like that, where you don't have the same time to meet people. These are great resources you can use. Now I'm going to answer another question. Is for like anybody who's on here that's a Christian or you're super spiritual. Most of the time I've realized a lot of people are like, oh, if you date online, you're not waiting on God. You're not waiting on him. You're trying to create your own love story. That's not true. There's a lot of people that met online and were married and still thriving. You have to ask the Lord, what is his approach? He may want you to go in person and meet the person. Another person, it may be go on Bumble. It may be go on Hinge. It may be going, go on these different websites. So you have to use wisdom and seek him about that, because he'll tell you, right? So dating apps is not saying. I don't believe that. But I believe that you can use it with wisdom. Be wise in how you date. Have accountability. Have people come with y'all on these dates. Get you some mace. Get you a taser. Park a little further away so he don't see what kind of car you got. Just use wisdom in your comings and goings. And before you meet this person, share your location with somebody you trust, not just strangers, right? Friends, mom, dad, uncle, cousin, best friend, like people that can actually pull up if you need them to. Okay, so I think we got through everything. Let me just look. Let me make sure, because we had a lot to tackle today. Um, and usually I just have one topic and I just flow with it. But this time I wanted to make sure that I had a breakdown in some type of order to what we normally would do, because I think it can drain you being on these dating sites. It can drain you. It can break your spirit. It could be draining, curving people and not settling, because it's easy to settle. It's easy to take whatever somebody gives you. It's harder to wait on the Lord, wait on God, for him to bring who he has for you, right? It's harder to wait. So I think when you're doing dating apps, I don't believe it's sinful. I don't believe that. I think that we are in a time and place where a lot of people are meeting that way. But I think you should also frequent places that type of man would show up. So if you're looking for someone, in finance, if you're looking for someone who's financially stable, you may go to the golf course on, 12 o'clock on a weekday. You may go to try to, go to a conference for finance building or wealth building, right? You may go to real estate conferences. You may do these things because these people will be in the room. You may go to an art exhibit. You may do things that that type of person would do. If you want somebody fine, you want him tall, you want him fit, he gonna be at the gym. He gonna be there. You got to get to that gym. Okay, I'm speaking to myself. I'm speaking to y'all. Right? That's what you want. You have to go where he is, and you're not going solely just like, let me be on the lookout. But as you do these things, you'll learn things about yourself, and before you know it, that person will just show up. So be intentional with your time, be intentional with your life, and know that you're valuable and you're loved and you deserve love, real love, right? It's important. And if you love yourself enough, you will walk away from anything that no longer serves you. Okay? So I know I flew through those topics. So, of course, y'all know this is going to be up so y'all can go back and listen. And I'm going to give y'all a few minutes to ask any questions. So if you have any questions or anything that you want to add, I would love to see it in the comments. What you guys think about it. Um, how do you navigate love on these apps? How do you prepare yourself? Like what do you do? Is there any safety measures you take? Definitely share those, right? Share those with the community so we can all see and know and hold each other accountable. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all one more minute. Is there anything that y'all want to ask? So be safe out there, y'all. I'm not seeing anything coming in the chat. But if y'all have questions or concerns, or you want me to repeat anything, go ahead and add it in the comments. I know it's been a while since we've been on here together, but I'm glad to be back. Talking to y'all. It's like I'm talking to my homegirl or homeboy, depending on who you are. All right, y'all. Well, I love y'all, and I am grateful to be here with y'all and be able to talk with y'all after all this time has passed. And I look forward to doing more of these and coming back on. But thank you for your time. Thank you for being on, y'all. And of course, I'm going to write in the comments myself to see, if I come up with any more safety measures and, the apps that I love the best. If you would like to see that, comment below and I'll tell you my top 3 favorite apps and I could do another video on that. All right. Well, I love y'all. And it's Lisby over and out. Bye.